Hard impingement, I mean two precipitates actually touching each other. They are not able to grow anymore. When they say that is the hard impingement. So one is hard, that is the hard impingement. Another is soft impingement. What is soft impingement? What is soft impingement, Devendra? We talked about like we talked about concentration depletion region in case of diffusion control growth. You remember? So there is a concentration depletion region. Now concentration depletion region, if say for high supersaturation, this concentration depletion region is kind of constrained in a particular zone. Now if one precipitate is this one, this is your matrix or parent phase. Now another precipitate, if it is there very close by, its concentration depletion region will be like this and their concentration depletion region will overlap. That means they are draining out from matrix the element and they are from the same location. So when their diffusion fields compete each other or they the depletion region overlap on each other, that is a soft impingement. Not yet this precipitate and this precipitate has touched. Not yet hard impingement happened, but soft impingement happened. Understood? The difference between soft and hard impingement. And if there is any growth anisotropy, so anisotropy in growth, anisotropy. Certain surface issues cause the growth anisotropy. All these affect your transformation kinetics. Now we will talk about the derivation of the Zemack equation. If we get enough time for a class test, our today's class test syllabus is today's class. Whoever start and from the beginning, from 8 o'clock onwards. Depends on whether I get time or not. The objective of the Zemack theory is to describe transformation as a function of time in terms of nucleation and growth of many randomly distributed particles or grains. The basic framework of the theory is very general. It does not take into account to come to this general form. We do not need to have a prior hand the actual form of nucleation rate and growth rate. So independent of particular models used in detailed description of the nucleation and growth process. So it is not dependent on that. So it's kind of a more general type of form. Now suppose that a particular particle is born at a time tau. So this is a time axis. Say your time starts from now, 0. And say at a particular time, this is tau. Okay, this is your time axis. Suppose that a particular particle or nucleation happens at a particular particle is born at this point at time tau. And it continues to grow freely as time passes. It is born here and it is growing. After the total time of t, small t, say after a total time of small t, the volume of the particle will be given by the volume of the particle after time t will be given by, say, in general form it is this growth rate we were denoting by g. So gx, gy, gz. If we consider anisotropy in growth, in x direction, y direction, z direction, growth rate is different, and it will be, so it is born here till time t, it has got t minus tau time to grow. The volume of this will be this, and this is a factor which takes care of the shape. Okay? If it is, so gx, gy and zz are growth rates, and eta is a shape factor. This is a shape factor, and these are growth rates at different directions. If we assume that the nucleation rate is given by n, that I, say I as a function of time. Should I write I or n dot? Industrial again. I. The number of new particles formed per unit volume per unit time. What is I? Number of new particles formed per unit volume per unit time. And the volume of nuclei let us assume to be negligible. Say whatever volume after time t, it is just because of growth, and nuclei volume is negligible, let us say. Then the number of nuclei formed in a time interval tau plus d tau is given by, so how much, if there is a small time interval d tau, number of nuclei formed at that, through that time per unit volume will be given by this multiplied by, so I multiplied by I at time tau multiplied by d tau. That is the number of nuclei formed in unit volume through this time, which are formed at tau, between tau and tau plus d tau. So we are taking I at the value of tau, multiplying it by small time increment d tau. So their volume, the total, so these many number of particles which were born here, their volume after some time t, if they grow unimpeded, will be given by V of one particle is this, V of one particle is this, so these many number of particles, so this will be multiplied by I d tau. So this will be multiplied by I d tau. Understood? For one particle that is that goes to this volume, these many number of particles forming at tau will be of this. Total volume will be this.
Sir, into V will be there.
The volume of those particles which are born at tau will be given by this Vp t. So one particle after certain time t multiplied by whatever number that has born.
So this is number of particles per unit volume.
This is number of particles. I is number of particles per unit volume per unit time multiplied by time. So this is number of particles per unit volume. This is volume of one of those product.
Then this
so
is
this is
number of particles.
Number of particles.
No.
Yes.
This is volume of particles per volume of solution. Dimension is number.
So this is number of particles.
Listen. This is, what is this? number of particle I d tau is number of particles per unit volume of what? Unit volume of solution. The whole thing, the whole system, unit volume of the whole system. Volume of system.
Into volume.
We are multiplying this by volume of one particle. One particle. That means volume of total number of particles divided by the volume of the system, which is nothing but Fv.
Yes, fraction. Yes.
But this Fv is for those particles which were born at tau. But nucleation is happening from here, from 0 to it keeps on happening through time. So if we have to find out total Fv, we have to integrate this equation, this one, from 0 to t. Fine? What?
DFT.
Please be louder.
This will be DFT. Differential of it.
This for the particles that were born at tau, at time tau, within a small time increment, for that the Fv is given by this volume of particle divided by volume of system. Okay? Integrating over time t, it yields the total volume of all the new particles born at different times. So the fraction, so Fv for all the particles will be then given by 0 to t. Your v beta t is nothing but eta gx gy gz multiplied by t minus tau whole cube I v tau. So this is the fraction transform. Fine? So if we now assume this particle to be spherical, this and isotropic growth, spherical and they grow isotropically, that means gx, gy, gz is same. And the growth rate g is constant. If we assume that g is not varying during the growth, which is the case for polymorphic transformation, which is the case for eutectoid transformation, discontinuous transformation, which is not the case for discontinuous transformation where diffusion is involved and continuously matrix saturation concentration comes down. So it is not the case for there, but for other cases g is constant. So in that case, so if we now assume it is spherical particle and then it will be, this equation will be 0 to t 4/3 pi r cube. That is the volume, it will be small, the volume of one particle after certain time will be, what is r now? Growth rate multiplied by t minus tau. So 4/3 pi r cube meaning growth rate, that is g cube minus t. For all the particles that are being born at different times. Okay, tau is varying from 0 to t. So this is the v volume fraction as a function of time, and there will be a function of temperature will come from how nucleation and I and G varies with temperature. Now if I do this, what is the problem? Is that the J-Mac equation? Ritwik, is that the J-Mac equation? This is the our aim was to find out Fv as a function of time and temperature. We have found out. Is there any problem in this?
Temperature.
Temperature will come through G and T, G and I. G is a function of temperature, growth rate is a function of temperature, nucleation rate is a function of temperature. Then
Considering the phantom one, that is split.
you not just wrote. Say what? What is the problem?
Sir,
So
Do not
like
give just some jargon.
so two
Shweta,
particles.
oh, you where based here from beginning. Tell Nachiketa. Please be louder.
Volume fraction here is their maximum because the element of the particle is also here.
Correct. So here we assume that particles are whichever is being born, they are growing unimpeded. We did not consider if there is a particle born here and if there is a particle born here which is growing, and when they are meeting, they should stop. When these two particles meet, they should stop. We did not consider that. So we considered that particles are growing infinitely, like they are growing unimpeded. Okay, they are not stopping when they are touching each other. What else we did not consider?
nucleation within the precipitation.
This nucleation we kept on saying that every time it will keep on nucleating. But we did not consider that if a particular volume of in the whole system, a particular volume has been transformed, product has formed, a new nucleus cannot form here. Nucleus has to form some other place. We did not consider that. So whatever we considered here is kind of analogical. You can think of on a rainy day, you are seeing a pond, and like in a pond, one drop is falling, and those ripples are going. Huh? So another drop is falling, and those ripples go through. Those ripples go through each other, and also another drop may form on that, and that can also start another. So it's kind of like that. So nucleation we are considering in the portion where it cannot happen. So those parts where this new nucleation in already transformed volume, those nuclei are called phantom nuclei. Or ghost nuclei. Meaning they are not real. They cannot happen. But we considered that. And we considered growth through each other. So this is not a real volume fraction. So here the assumptions are particles grow unimpeded, nucleation flux is defined in terms of per unit volume of the total system, which permits nucleation to occur again and again in material that has already transformed, and particles nucleated in the transformed volume still grow unimpeded. That's what we considered here. So that is nucleation and growth take place all over the entire volume of the system, transformed plus untransformed regions. That is, nucleation continues within the transformed regions at the same rate as within the untransformed regions, and growth of nuclei proceeds as if all other particles are absent. nuclei formed in the transformed regions also grow and contribute to the volume of the transformed region. Those are the things which are not real, which we consider here. But what we have in an actual transformation, nucleation and growth take place only in untransformed region, and growing particles stop to grow over their boundary when they impinge on each other. So now this was corrected by JMAC, that Johnson, Mell, Avrami and Kolmogorov, what is that? Kolmogorov. They introduced an extended volume concept where phase transformation takes place following exactly the same thing what we have done. So they said this volume is an extended volume. Let us assume this happens, if this unreal thing happens, this phantom nuclei and growth of particle through the transformed region, that happens, let us assume that. But let us term it as an extended volume. So this volume fraction is instead of writing V, let us write is Vx. It is an extended volume fraction. It is not a real volume fraction. It is a volume fraction obtained through this type of process. What actually does not happen. Then they applied this JMAC, said that this is an extended volume, and then they applied statistical analysis and developed a relationship between the extended volume fraction Fvx and the real volume fraction Fv, saying this, that change in real volume fraction is whatever fraction untransformed, whatever real fraction untransformed, 1 minus Fv. This refers to the real volume fraction multiplied by. So this is the extended volume. Out of that, the untransformed region, so whatever nucleation growth happens there. So statistically, it is found that any change in real volume fraction is related to change in extended volume fraction by this. So which describes the contribution of the addition of a small extended volume fraction, say addition of a small extended volume fraction to the chain. So if you add a new volume fraction addition, if it is a random event, then fraction untransformed of that will contribute to the real event. The contribution of this increase in the extended volume multiplied by the fraction untransformed region will contribute to the real event, real volume fraction increase. That is the basis of this equation. So in a differential form, dFv over 1 minus Fv is dFvx. That is our, that's what they introduced, JMAC introduced. So from and at time t equal to 0 your Vx at t equal to 0 your Fv was 0, your Vx was 0. At t equal to infinity, what will be your Fv? At t equal to infinity, what your Fv is? 1. Your Vx is? It is infinity. Because it will keep on increasing. So therefore, if we know Fvx, we can find out Fv by using this. That's what JMAC did. So from there, what we are getting, Fv equal to, you integrate it, what you will get? Fv and Fvx relation.
1 minus exponential.
Fv equal to, Fv equal to, what? Do it and say, do not just remember and say. I do not want you prior remembering things and just saying that. You have your equation, integrate and tell me. One minus exponential. Yeah?
Minus Fx.
So this is one fundamental thing you will use. Why I am asking you to understand the derivation from beginning, because then for different cases you can derive this. So these are simple concepts, but this is the fundamental concept here, this statistical equation. This is just integrated form of this, and this is the extended volume. Extended volume fraction you can find out depending on whether growth rate is diffusion controlled or not. So those details you can put it here to find out Fvx, and you know this equation. So you can find out JMAC equation, different form and values of n. Those things you can find out yourself if you understand the derivation of it. So if your Fvx is that one, whatever is given here, then your Fv will be 1 minus exponential minus of 0 to t 4/3 pi g cube t minus tau whole cube I d tau. That is your actual real volume fraction. For which case? For isotropic growth where gx, gy, gz is same. And for which case when g is constant, is not varying over during the growth. Now, usually your nucleation sites are selected few, okay? So nucleation takes place at certain preferred sites in the parent phase, which are gradually exhausted. Usually that is the case. There are certain preferred nucleation sites, nucleation happens, and as the process goes on, when nuclei already formed at that place, those nuclei nucleation sites are exhausted. Usually that is the case, and then this nucleation number of nucleation sites that varies with initial number being n naught, varies exponentially like this minus nu t. Usually that is the variation of the nucleation site. Now if nu is the frequency at which the nucleation site gets exhausted. If nu is very small, almost zero, then number of nuclei remains same all throughout. This becomes 1. N equal to n naught. That means nucleation is not, number of nucleation site is not changing. So nucleation rate is constant. What is nucleation rate? I, if n is given by this, I will be n dot. What is n dot? I will be actually minus n dot, because nucleation rate, meaning these sites are getting exhausted. So minus n dot, minus dn dt. Minus dn dt. What is that? N naught nu exponential minus nu t. If nu is very small, I is, that nucleation rate is n naught nu. If nu is very small, I is n naught nu, that is nucleation rate is constant. So one extreme is this. If nu is very large, what happens? At little, just after beginning, immediately those sides, so this is very large. So the whole thing becomes 0. Nucleation rate becomes 0. So only at the beginning, whatever number of nuclei, very soon it gets exhausted. Immediately it gets exhausted. So if nu is large, is very large, that is the case for site saturation. Meaning just at the beginning, your whatever number of nuclei was there at n0, that is constant, but after that the nucleation rate at after t greater than 0 is equal to 0. Means immediately those get exhausted. These are the two extremes, and in between, in between value will follow this nucleation rate I. If I put this nucleation rate I expression here, let us put it here. So it will be 1 minus exponential minus 0 to t, or I can just take minus 4/3, whatever the constant, I am taking it out. Growth rate is also I am assuming to be constant, n naught to nu, and within integral 0 to t, t minus tau whole cube exponential minus mu t mu tau, because our variable is tau, d tau. So our FV expression, we are getting this. For a general nucleation rate of equation like this, I equal to n naught nu exponential minus nu t. Our time variable here is tau, that's why I have written tau, nu tau. Who can do this integration? Can you do it please on your notebook? This integration? What does it mean? It is integration by parts. Please do it on your notebook. This integration. Everyone, I want you to do on your own notebook this integration 0 to t minus tau whole cube exponential minus nu tau d tau. Do it. Looks like you actually, I did not get time for this. Anyway. Integration by parts, who does not remember? Raise your hand. Nothing to be shy of. You may not remember. What is that? If you remember, do not just stay like this, write something. What do you do? Integration by parts I should not tell you because no why I did not tell you, let me tell you, because the way I remember and what I am going to write is something different, so I thought that the way I remember, let me remember that way, so you may like remember in a particular way, you remember, so you follow that. I do not want to confuse you. What should be the answer? What will be the answer? I will tell you, but what about you do it on your own and tell me the answer? If you can do it in next 3-4 minutes, you do it. Otherwise, you do it at your home. But individually, you do it. It is do not discuss on the simple thing. Do not discuss and do. You do it on your own. And ultimately find out what is the expression for FG. Anyway, I will write down in the next class, but you do it on your own. Should I write down the final expression that you can check? Or should I let me write it down on in the next class? But do it on your own notebook so that you can check directly. Please do it on your own. So the expression that you will get, that is called Avrami equation. The expression of Fv that you will get for the nucleation rate of this form, the expression for Fv you will get, that's called Avrami equation. And J-Mac equation is, so after you have an expression like this, general form, you do it for the two extreme cases, when U is very large, when U is very small. For the case of constant nucleation rate and for the case of site saturation. So you will find the value of n in the J-Mac equation, exponent n will be two different. So J-Mac equation is that they actually derived it for different two extreme cases and for the general case, and they said that n varies from this to this if it is a three-dimensional isotropic growth. But why I wanted you to pay attention to the derivation is because in exam it may not be isotropic growth, it may not be constant growth rate, it may be diffusion control where growth rate is changing, so that you can do it there for those cases also. Their small n value will change. Thank you.